And here's where I want to tie in a concept that's well understood in cybersecurity that I mentioned earlier: business continuity planning and disaster recovery, or BCPDR, as it's easier to just say. My role may not be focused solely on those disciplines, but I've been involved in it plenty. When a service goes down, a good org has a plan, a path forward, not just scrambling in the aftermath as we often see in the gaming industry. That's all SKG is really asking for: continuity, not infinite support. Just don't lock people out of what they paid for when you shut things down. Give them options. And I can't help but laugh a bit at the argument that private risk servers are somehow too risky to allow, knowing that's originally where gaming came from. I've run my own email server, yes, really for over a decade, and there's a reason the joke goes friends don't let friends run their own email servers, but I did it. I also first had my hosting experience with Tribes 2, and if it wasn't for that experience as a kid hosting my own server out of my house, I would have not learned a lot of the core concepts, port allowances, and how you need to deal with NAT and everything there to actually eventually lead me into the career I have today. But I did it. I also run my own Mastodon instance, self-host parts of my home lab, both on-prem and in the cloud, and I've even got a video on that mail server mess I will link up top. Yes, managing your own stuff has challenges, but for many of us, it's worth it. We value control, customization, and ownership, and that's exactly what's being taken away with these games shut down with no off-ramp. In fact, I've talked about eventually setting up a Tribes 2 Ultra XL server, tuned for big 16 versus 16 or even 32 versus 32 capture the flag matches with tons of maps, because I can, because someone should. And this movement ensures this kind of passion doesn't get snuffed out. Now, I'll be the first to admit, running your own servers isn't always easy, but for many of us, that is the point. The challenge is part of the reward. Just like I've said before, I run my own email server in the past because I can, and even made a whole video about that chaos. The real question becomes, if you're shutting down a game entirely, removing all ability for others to carry the torch, what's the issue? Because it's not about security. It's not about cost. It's about control. Speaking of security, if developers actually cared about user safety, they'd stop pushing kernel-level anti-cheat software. That stuff runs at ring 0, and I've got a whole video on why I think that's dangerous. I'll drop a card for that too. The same studios trying to fearmonger about private servers are shipping software with way more risk